So we are recording.
Yep.
Oh, well then, welcome back to the Trick Talking Meat podcast. Again, I'm your co-host, Brother John, and with me, the Smoke Show, as always.
Yeah, Allie the Spoiled Bat.
Hi. Good to see you're still alive.
I know, right?
We were just talking about indie wrestling before we chimed in here on hit the record button.
Oh, no, we were recording around the time we were talking about whacking off.
Oh, well. As long as you're not whacking off to wrestling.
I don't know.
No.
Wrestling
people.
Though the context might be lost.
Right. Wrestling the ball-headed champ. What? I don't know. I think I could do well at color commentary for wrestling.
Yeah.
I would agree.
If it was anything like Strangle Mania. Have you ever seen Strangle Mania?
I have not seen Strangle Mania.
The Insane Clown Posse years ago have a very iconic cult following for wrestling now as well. And they did a couple of bootleg wrestling videos, and most of it's from Japan.
I have heard of these. I have heard of these.
And if you're a wrestling fan, you've got to watch Strangle Mania at least once. It's 3 hours of guys trying to kill each other, literally. Because I don't think there's any actual wrestling. It's just guys beating the ever-living fuck out of each other, and ICP makes fun of them the entire time.
That's amazing.
Did you fuck this up?
No, just the video for like half a second.
Oh,
Oops.
well, don't you fuck this up.
I was trying to clean something off the screen.
You're going to get a flying senton bomb
touch
if you don't
screen.
mess this up.
Don't you fuck up my computer.
Don't you fuck this up. We'll find a new producer. Somebody that'll work for free, stay up late, and do things for nothing.
It's an Easter egg.
Right.
We threw in a little Easter egg.
You know, in Tron, there's the story in Tron where, like, when they would get the film from Kodak, you know, back in the day when you'd shoot a movie, the film would come in these big giant canisters,
Yeah.
35 millimeter, and they were numbered, so you would record on them in order to get the continuity, because there would be little degradations in the film quality and little pop. But they didn't know that on Tron, so they were just going in there and throwing them all into a storage unit or whatever and pulling these. So if you watch Tron, there's little flashes and pops throughout that whole movie.
Yeah.
And that's the little degradation of the film.
Huh.
So they were wisely and keenly, they just put little sound effects and stuff on the little pops and flashes and stuff, and it just looked like it was part of the
like
movie.
It's supposed to be intentional. Yeah, like, oh, something zoomed by.
Right. So,
I mean,
which was brilliant for that movie. For that movie in particular, you could get away with it. But we're not talking about Tron today. We're talking about Strangle fucking Mania.
wrestling again.
Wrestling
I don't
again.
think we have had one to where we haven't talked about wrestling in some manner.
Best in the world.
It's gonna happen.
I know.
I'm
I know.
wearing a CM Punk t-shirt. How many times have we worn?
A cultural phenomenon that's lasted, decades.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
not the Super Bowl.
And it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in WrestleMania season. We're in the road to WrestleMania here in the first weeks of April, sorry.
Oh God, April,
Yeah. Why? What's wrong with April?
spring.
Springtime.
The pollen is
Which reminds me, I got to watch The Producers
flying
again this week.
everywhere.
Springtime for Hitler.
People are drawing
Yeah.
dicks on cars.
Yeah.
Right.
Tree sperm, dicks on cars.
Yeah.
Right, wash me. The
Yep.
oldest, dumbest joke in the land, especially if you live in Alabama, where everything just gets covered in that yellow Coke powder-looking substance.
My car is supposed to be gunmetal, and now it's
Yellow.
Yellow.
It's just yellow. It's
It
yellow.
looks like a fairy farted on your truck.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Not
Pretty
so much Iron Man.
No.
What is it? An Iron Man edition Kia or Hyundai? Was that
Yeah,
what-
Hyundai.
Hyundai,
Yeah.
whatever. Now it just looks like a
The
giant.
yellow jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Yellow
okay.
Jacket.
There you
Yellow
go.
jacket.
Looks
Right
like
now
Yellow
it looks
Jacket.
like a giant just queefed on your fucking truck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go get a car wash. What's the matter with you?
We did the other day. It's just back again.
I drive a beater, so I just gave up. I don't care anymore. But if you've never seen Strangle Mania, definitely go watch it. It's hilarious. It's basically they took a lot of, I'm assuming, Japanese New Japan Pro Wrestling footage illegally. Some might say, and put their own special blend on there and their own color commentary. It's hilarious.
That's amazing.
Lama Nama Numi
So, I
and
mean,
Cactus Sack.
Japanese
In this-
wrestling, from what I understand, is like a whole nother level.
It's not like here.
They take it up, yeah. And especially the girls,
Right. They're a lot more respected there than they are here in the. Well, I don't know. The diva division. I don't even like calling them divas anymore because I think it's kind of an insult to wrestlers. female wrestlers in the United States, especially in the WWE. Those guys are just as good at athletes as any of the guys. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the WWE to balls up and actually do intergender matches again.
Huh.
They did that back in the 80s.
Well, China did it. She won. I can't remember who she might have been. Was it Double J? Anyway, she won the Intercontinental title, the men's Intercontinental title back in the day, back in the
Yeah,
90s.
because she beat all the females.
Right.
China.
Well,
China
honestly,
was a storm.
You look at that big bitch and wonder which one of these like 90-pound women could honestly take that
Right.
woman in a fight.
Right.
China was awesome.
Yep. hope
She'd
she's
whip
doing
my
good.
ass.
I mean, I think she's where the joke about the big damn bitch
Yeah.
that came from.
I think
Was that
so.
the what was it, Deuce Bigelow? That's a huge bitch.
Partly inspired by it, yeah.
Yeah. You can say what you want about China, and we could laugh about it all day long.
Oh no, yeah, she's
But she was She-Hulk in a porn movie.
Yeah.
Awesome choice.
I mean,
I would have
Yeah.
cast her in a legit She-Hulk movie or TV
Yeah.
show.
yeah.
She was awesome. Joni Laurer was awesome. I was a fan.
Yeah.
We could talk shit about her all day long, but her accomplishments were very large. No
Right.
pun intended. Is wrestling the same as it used to be, though?
No.
I think wrestling comes and goes at the end of every decade.
Yeah.
Okay, kind
It
of like
had-
comics.
Right.
You know,
They kinda resurge.
It's got an ebb and flow. Video games, ebb and
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah.
Right.
Nerds, ebb and flow.
Right. Well,
We had our moment in the sun. It's going away.
right.
Yep.
I don't know. We're having a resurgence of nostalgia here lately with
Well,
vintage
yeah,
toys,
yeah.
vintage wrestlers, legends of
Yeah.
wrestling coming back and making appearances. Movies are becoming cool again.
Yeah.
I just watched Trial of the Incredible Hulk. Again, going back to vintage.
So
Right.
good and so bad.
So terrible. Wasn't that the one with Thor and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt
Oh,
Murdock
God.
and Thor and you know what else I just watched recently that I found a pirate copy of, speaking of old vintage tapes? The original Doctor Strange flick from like 1982.
Wow.
It's really good, terrible good.
I would love to watch that one.
I'll have to go dig that up. Or actually probably on YouTube,
No,
honestly.
It's his.
Roll Tide.
I thought it was mine.
Oh,
It's
okay.
his.
I was like, are both your phones blown up?
That's what I
Jesus.
was wondering for a second there, but then I realized
Somebody
no,
really
no.
wants to get a hold of me. That or it's just eBay's dropping off my Slayer sticker for the lawnmower.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Sorry.
That
That
was
just
beautiful.
rolled out.
Right on. Right there.
I'll
No chance to mute.
I'll clip it for transitions.
Better to burp and taste it than fart and waste it, kids.
Yeah.
That's a
vintage-
keeper.
Vintage stuff, man.
Vintage
We
is
haven't
so much
watched
better.
a lot of like older movies lately.
Huh?
Us.
What?
We haven't watched any.
Well, yeah, because I spent all of like September, October, November, December doing it.
Yeah.
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 I love
it's-
going on Tubi and just scrolling through shit.
Tubi's got a lot of good stuff. You don't mind commercials, but then again, it's kind of like watching Sunday Matinee when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Everything
yeah.
has commercials again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I know streaming was so good for a while there, and I think
Yeah.
that's why people are going
Right.
back out and buying hard media again.
Yeah, we had a good run
Yep.
of that commercial, but now I mean,
Or you could pay
is
a
this 20,
through the ass and
Yeah.
get commercial free. I'm like, no.
26.99 versus $8.99 or whatever? No,
Mhm.
I'll take the commercials. Give me the fucking
Yep.
commercials. I'll deal with it.
Well,
Yep. Dealt
you
with
know,
it all our lives. So
yeah, we were a commercial endorsed generation.
we did get spoiled though
You know
with
what?
the streaming.
My my youngest nephew busting out the oh no, fast forward, skip this.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
Sorry,
Sorry,
buddy.
bud. You gotta
this ain't
sit
going
through it.
nowhere.
Sorry there, big guy. We ain't moving forward.
Yep. Can't do it. You
And
just
I was
gotta
like,
be
"Watch."
patient.
And I
But-
pressed the button and he was like, oh.
And streaming is great and all too, man. But you have, I mean, it's just as bad as having cable anymore. Because
Yeah.
originally it was
Yeah.
just Amazon Prime and they had everything, and then Hulu came along and it was awesome. Hulu was the champ of TV,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and now you're paying $150 a month again just to have cable
Yep.
with commercials. So they figured their way around that shit.
Well, I mean, I don't know necessarily what Tubi's model is, but I mean,
I love Tubi.
I love Tubi. I watch
Mhm.
Tubi all the time.
I
Yep.
I've
constantly
been
watch
amazed.
Pluto TV and Tubi.
I'm trying to think of when it was. Maybe it was around the time of the Oscars, but since then, like late night shows,
Mhm.
Yeah.
interview, just everyone is dropping Tubi's name like they're
Yeah,
being paid.
yeah,
to.
I've
Right.
noticed that too.
Like, oh yeah, I love watching Tubi. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Where
I've
did this
noticed
come
it.
from? So I don't know necessarily what their business model is, but
I hope they don't
would
change
not be
it.
surprised if like
You know,
5 years from now, Tubi is the
Five-
dominant.
Yeah, and it's $5 a month
yeah,
with commercials.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nope.
Well, I mean, Disney Plus right now is the only thing that doesn't have commercials.
Well, they're saying that
no, it does.
It does.
it does now.
It does.
Oh, it does now.
God.
And they're saying that
We
the
don't
Hulu deal
because
is
we
about
got
to end.
grandfathered in.
Oh,
And
we
the Hulu
did?
deal is about to end with Disney Plus. So now that's going to be a whole separate entity again. You're going to have to pay extra just for that.
Jeez. Ugh. Well, we were doing that.
I'm about to
anyway.
drop Disney Plus. There's really,
I don't know.
other than like the occasional, one
It's-
show per season is not enough to.
Yeah.
It's almost like like it is with Netflix. Is the series that I'm really excited to watch up yet?
Right.
I'm too much. I'm too much of a
I wonder if
Disney whore
Netflix is
for-
going to torpedo once that last season of Stranger Things hits. Because
Mm.
Squid Games is up and
Yeah.
Stranger Things is up.
Well, and they
And I'm not
pretty
even
much,
probably gonna watch
axed
Stranger
anything
Things.
else that might have had a chance at taking
And that's the biggest
crown.
problem with Netflix is anytime they get something good, they're like, oh, the budget's too huge. How the fuck is the budget too huge when you
Right.
guys are cranking us for like $30 a month
Yeah.
now, man?
Or it doesn't meet what Reed Hastings thinks the streaming numbers.
Oh,
should
don't
look
get
like.
him started on Reed
I
Hastings.
I fucking hate that guy. No, and well, I guess I'd have to keep it now because I'm a wrestling fan. Going back full circle, yeah, they have Netflix has Raw now,
Yep.
and they're supposed to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
SmackDown in 2 years. So if that's the case, I guess. But when you're paying Dave Chappelle $100 million for 5 stand-up specials,
Right.
I'm paying Dave Chappelle $30 a month for shit,
Yeah.
and I don't even want to see him. I don't care.
Yep.
Until he does the Chappelle Show reboot, then I'm not interested.
I want to see a Key and Peele come back.
Oh, it's not going to happen.
I know.
I know it's not.
They're both super talented and doing their own things
Yeah.
I know. But
Well,
I'd
I
love
mean-
to
Jordan
see- I'd
Peele's
love to
doing
see
some
just a
amazing
snippet.
horror. So,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
God, yeah.
God, if A24 wanted to lock in a director, that'd be who I'd grab.
Yeah, he's been wanting to do the Gargoyles live action.
Yeah. No, that's the only.
That
thing
would
should
be
done is if
awesome.
Jordan Peele's heading it up.
It's like, please, make that happen.
I can't figure why there's, again, a long laundry list of properties that I'm shocked at Legend of Zelda live action. Still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thundercats live action movie lends itself.
Oh man, Thundercat.
G.I. Joe, the movie, would lend itself as a live action property. And before people say there was 2 of them, no, there weren't. Those
gonna
weren't
say-
G.I. Joe movies. Those were those 3 movies were a fucking insult to any kid that grew up in the 80s. And they should be ashamed of themselves for even doing them.
Yeah, they were kind of too updated.
Snake Eyes, oh goddamn, what a garbage fire. I still haven't watched it because I've heard enough.
I wanted it. I wanted it to be good. I really.
We
really
all wanted it to be good.
Well.
Not even
I
gonna.
tell you, it felt like the Kmart brand version of the Wolverine.
Nice.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Mm.
It felt like the Kmart
Well,
brand version.
to
of the
me, it
Wolverine.
just seemed like all
Kids don't know what
all
Kmart is.
adventure
Yeah.
like adventure show like movies and stuff
The
like that
RC
at that
Cola.
point in
Right.
time.
They don't know what RC Cola is either.
Yeah.
We're vintage.
No, they don't. Yep.
This is the vintage episode now.
Dr. Thunder.
Dr. Thunder. No, that's Walmart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, soda, or was that only a
No,
northern
I
thing?
used to drink OK Soda.
Yeah. Do you remember? Do you
Yeah.
remember the phone number?
No.
It was 1-800 I feel okay,
Oh,
and
well.
you would do it, and like sometimes they would have like bird calls, like the most random shit. But yeah, and you could call it, and
Well, OK Soda was a very regional thing, though.
it was. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, did that come down here? I don't think.
I guess
it did.
Faygo would be the other one.
Yeah. yeah.
Faygo's kind of it's
Yeah.
about half the country now.
Yeah.
No, they've expanded. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when I was growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, you could only get it up around Michigan and
Yeah.
up north. But
Mm.
now we even get Faygo down here. We don't get the good flavors down here in the
No.
South.
Blue.
Yeah, the Blue Moon Mist.
It's like
Fucking find it
we-
anywhere.
we
Blue Moon Mist was the best flavor.
What,
And for anybody listening, Blue Moon Mist was basically like Blue Mountain Dew before they ripped it off.
yeah.
That high voltage Mountain Dew shit.
Yeah.
They had
Mhm.
they had 3 Moon Mists. They had a red, a blue, and a regular Mountain Dew flavor, a yellow. And you get the yellow one anywhere, but Blue Moon Mist Faygo.
Yep.
That's a fine product.
It's too sweet.
And then there you go, ICP. It came around full circle again.
We always do.
We're
it.
good
It
at
always
that.
happens.
It always comes
We're
back.
good
It
at
begins
that.
where it ends. Strangle fucking Mania and Faygo Cola.
From an editing standpoint, it makes it real easy because I just go in and there's that 30-minute derail in the middle, and I just go.
Yep, that's
Yep.
where we end the show this week. Oh, we got 3 episodes this time.
Yep. That's what he does.
Well, no, it's
He
working.
splits it up.
I did hear feedback from the childhood trauma episode. People seem
Oh,
to
really?
really like that one.
Really? Okay.
Like, for being so morbidly horrible.
Well, that might explain. I almost forgot to let you know the numbers over the past week, over the month.
Right.
There's the numbers I told you about.
Sure.
Last time we talked about it. Add a 0 at the end. That's where we're at now.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
Wow.
No shit.
So there's a lot of us losers out here listening to this
Yeah.
dribble.
Yep.
Our impressions and our click through, even our the percentage of people who click play and keep listening
Sure.
is over 84% now.
Wow.
Which we appreciate you
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Just
Yes, if you're listening, we love you very much.
You're right.
Thank you so
No,
much.
you know what, man? There's so many people like us that are vintage and old
yeah.
Yeah.
And complaining on
com-
podcasts.
and complaining on their own podcasts.
So we got a lot of hits on the latest one. I'm not sure if that's because I put maybe sex bots in the description.
Probably so. Elon Musk and his sex bot army is coming.
Yeah.
Be afraid. Be
Oh,
very
man.
afraid.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna open it up when I said, people drawing dicks on cars. I was gonna be like, and about dicks and cars, how about that Tesla stuff?
Jeez.
uh,
You know what? I'm kind of shocked that no car companies come out with replica cars for people to buy. Like a-
DeLorean did it at one point.
Well, that's because the guys down in Mississippi bought the DeLorean factory and all their
Yeah.
bits, and
Well,
they
yeah.
sell a DeLorean. But if you've got 100K, they'll build you a Back to the Future ride.
Yeah.
That being said, though, there's so many people that would want to drive a Batmobile or an Ecto
Right.
One, or
Yeah.
just put the shell on top of a chassis, and then there you go.
Well,
You
I
know?
mean, we got the
You take-
person in our area who's got the Jurassic Park Jeep.
Yeah, and the Scooby.
And
yeah,
the
but that's
Scooby
just
van.
that's just
But still,
decal in the
yeah.
car, a
it's
Jeep
not
that look like a
customized.
right,
Honestly, I could see something like how there's the HasLab thing.
right.
Just applying that to cars.
Like,
They
why
do-
aren't
you
they
taking
do
like
a
a
pre-order system, and then they build X amount, and
It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we're gonna put this fabricated shell. Like, I mean, that's all they're
Yeah.
doing for the
Yeah.
'89 Batmobiles that you
Can
see
you
running around. It's
imagine having
it's
to
like
wash
a
it?
1989 like Cutlass chassis or whatever,
Yeah,
and then they're
yeah.
putting the shell on
Something
top
like
of it, and you got a Batmobile.
Yeah,
Why is there no car company out there I guess maybe it's a licensing thing.
maybe.
maybe.
But can you? I mean, can you
but,
imagine
I mean,
washing that
You
thing?
think about it, how much money you could make doing that.
My wife and I were on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace a month ago, and some dude here, very close to here, was selling an A-Team wagon.
Really?
Right. Really?
And it was only like 11 bills. And then we were really tempted to get this car. I'm like, honey, if you ever loved me, you'd let me buy the A-Team van. And it was decked out. It had the license plate, had the big stripe going on. I mean, it was
Oh man.
literally
nice.
the A-Team fucking van. And I was like, I don't care if it runs like shit. It looks awesome. And that's all that matters.
You'd be I mean, I'm shocked sometimes at some
So
of the
fans,
people
when we
who
have
live
T-shirts
here.
coming out, buy the shit out of those because I want to drive an A-Team wagon.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hang out in the wagon at conventions,
Somebody online on Facebook messaged me and said I should auction off for charity a play date in the toy museum upstairs. And I was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that.
Yeah,
A stranger. I mean, if I knew you, it'd be one thing. But I mean, if you want to go take some Joes out into the woods and take pictures or something, I'm in.
yeah.
My brother and I do that every time we get together. It's like, okay, we have a battle plan before either one of us shows up at the other one's doorstep. Mario Enrique and I, in Seattle. So even if we're not meeting in Seattle or Alabama, if we're going somewhere, it's like, okay, I'm bringing this sack of Joes and these vehicles. What are you bringing? Well, I've got this guy. So there's a
Yeah.
Tiger Force photo shoot coming up soon. I don't know why. It's the dumbest subsect of G.I. Joe. Like, why would you fucking paint yourself in yellow tiger stripe camo?
Oh my god, I forgot
in the middle of a fucking jungle. That's like wiping your ass before you poop. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Why
Yeah,
would you
but-
do that?
But in the
Well,
jungle,
then
I
you're clearing
mean,
the road.
But they're awesome. I love them.
I mean, tigers are like a really bright color, and they've got camouflage. But that's mostly
Where?
in India.
It's in fucking India.
I'm just saying, I mean, you're talking about, bright
G.I.
yellow
Joe's going to ride a
camo.
bunch of elephants into battle with tigers.
I mean, that's where my brain went. You
Right.
know, you're talking about the camo. Well,
Yeah, but you're not exactly in an
tigers have
urban city
camo.
environment going to be hiding from Cobra, the terrorist
Well, yeah.
organization Cobra,
Well, it's
wearing
just
tiger
a style
stripes.
choice then.
Yeah.
Don't you stifle his.
Good
his
Lord. And
fashion
see, there's
sense.
Mario right there. He's probably knows. Well, oh, that's funny. He gave me my brother just sent me a picture of Hulk Hogan dressed like Glenn Danzig. And that's it's about as awesome as it gets. Evil Elvis Presley.
Amazing.
Mommy! You ask everybody, I love Danzig. Name more than one song that's not Mother.
I can't even name one.
Twist
so.
a Cane? Nothing?
I mean, I know who he
Nothing?
is. I just know.
He's Evil Elvis.
I'm
Yeah.
someone
He
who
did
like
those porn comics, didn't
I don't know. I know he's a
I
comic
think he
book
does.
guy.
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch his
We've
old
got
home video
some.
he did back in the 90s, like he had this whole segment where they were in his house and he was talking about comic books. Apparently he's like a really big comic book
Yeah.
nut.
Yeah. We've got one.
Yeah.
It's a porn comic.
Yeah.
Like a
we found
Tijuana
it-
Bible?
So like
we found it in a
we
vinyl
found it
record
in a
sleeve,
vinyl record sleeve. Yep.
Oh,
but it was in the free bin outside of a Second and Charles.
that makes it so much
Yep.
better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you ever donate fucked up shit to Goodwill? Just for the sake of donating it? You know that
Some people do.
there's
Let me
got to
tell
be
you.
a guy at Goodwill that's got to go through all that shit as it comes in,
They
donation.
do.
Yeah, and like they've got to have like whole dumpsters of just pornographic, nasty shit that people
Probably.
send them, you know?
Probably. Oh,
Yeah.
What, I talked about clearing through my VHS tapes when I dropped off my last batch of like stuff I was clearing through.
Right.
The guy who was taking the bin from me, he looked in the bin and he was like, "Holy shit, Pokemon!"
Yeah.
as I was driving away, I watched as I looked through like the window of the drop off place, and he's like going through pulling out all the Pokemon ones. I was like, "Have that, man.
Goodwill,
Have
huh?
that.
At least
Enjoy."
he made somebody happy,
Enjoy.
you know. Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember watching that happen.
I never get anything good from Goodwill. I watch Froggy Flips on the internet. I watch all these guys going to yard sales. They always get this like boss shit. I think they plan it.
Well, it's like
I
don't know,
I
they
said,
maybe
I mean,
not.
I'm part of
Right.
that Reddit, and some people find some wicked amazing stuff, and I even like pointed it out the other day. I was like, where do these people live to where there's
Like the
this
pizza
stuff
outfit.
in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, where? I want that. I want those
California.
big number items, okay?
The last place I worked, they had an attic upstairs, and he had a bunch of old promotional crap that, like Frito-Lay or Coors
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And the dude collected it up there. It was an older grocery store, and like he had all the NASCAR like hanging lights that you would put above a pool table and stuff. He had like beer signs up there, and I was like, man, I asked him at one point, I'm like, can I grab some of that shit? Do you want it? He's like, yeah, help yourself, man. I don't care. And I should have grabbed a bunch of that shit. I should have.
Yep.
But I don't drink beer and I don't care about cigarettes, but I was like, yeah, that's cool. A neon Marlboro, man.
I'm
Yeah.
hanging up a Joe Camel poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially
Because
because
it's
you don't
fu-
see
is
those
it-
anymore.
Is it because Joe Camel's face looks like a set of testicles?
You can't unsee it now.
Yeah. Well, there's people are going to look it up after the podcast is over. They're going to like search Joe Camel images and be like, yeah, his face looks like a dick and balls. What? Roll Tide. Is that my
Yep.
Kirk here?
It was like a phantom sound. Like I heard myself behind me.
Oh,
Weird. That's
maybe it's the
weird.
spirit of Joe Camel trying to get you to smoke.
It kind of did sound like that.
That was back in the days when you could market cigarettes to kids.
Yep.
As long as you didn't do it on television.
Yep.
Joe Camel. And I think my favorite promotional guy of all time, though, was Mac Tonight from McDonald's.
Yes.
Oh,
That jingle was
yeah.
catchy as hell.
Yeah, I still have a little action figure of him.
I found a little pizza noid at a thrift store up in
Pizza Noid.
Nashville a couple of weeks ago. It was like a
Yeah.
little rubber pizza noid. And I was like, oh, man, I remember that. I used to have to wear that.
Lloyd.
I wore that costume at fucking Toys R Us years ago for my mother. I would have to put that thing on and chase kids around the store. It was great.
God, there were so many so many weird promotional characters. back
Well,
when we
everybody
were
had to
growing
have
up.
one.
Everybody, you had to have a mascot.
Yeah,
We've
Yeah.
got one. Ours is a dancing hot dog, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake. What
that's
do you?
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
A dancing hot dog.
Yep.
A Danzig hot dog.
A Danzig hot dog would be even more cool. You know, he might be in his 60s, an old ass balding man, but I would be lesser of a man if I didn't admit that guy would kick my fucking ass too.
Probably. I mean, anybody would kick my ass. So
That dude, I always said it for years, man. Before Hugh Jackman, he was my top pick for Wolverine. He should have been Wolverine. If they would have gotten off their ass back in the late 80s, early 90s and done that movie, Danzig back in the day, I mean, he was yoked, and he's only like 4'11" anyway.
Yeah, that would be comic accuracy.
Vintage.
shortness,
Vintage.
which was amazing that they made fun of it in Deadpool 3.
What? Of the comic
Oh,
accurate
yeah,
Deadpool.
the comic accurate.
Or,
Yeah.
comic
Wolverine,
accurate Wolverine.
How he's all short.
I'd watch that movie. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We did get a fastball special, though, in X-Men 3. As terrible a movie as that was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of.
yeah. I couldn't make it through it.
Well, they're saying that the X-Men they're gonna be in the movies eventually, but they're wanting to focus them on TV. And I'm like, that would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how
Yeah.
fucking awesome X-Men
Every
97
time-
turned
I mean,
out.
there's just so many of the characters you can't put that in a movie. That doesn't work.
Yeah, that's just too expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
yeah, but
that
what would your
and
budget on TV
cohesive,
have to
too.
be?
Yeah. Well,
Well, so if you cycle through the cast, like maybe this episode has Cyclops doing an optic blast. Maybe the
Sure.
next episode has Storm doing some weather shit. I mean, if you kind of
space.
That
out.
was the old thing they used to say about those original X-Men flicks. Every time you had all of them on screen at once doing something, it cost you $1 million for every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But I guess CG and stuff has gotten so good now; it's
Yeah.
not nearly as expensive anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
it's almost drag and drop in some instances.
Well, I mean, that's why we're still getting fucking Toy Story movies all these years later because
Yeah.
the software is already there. It's just
Well,
a matter of
like,
writing a
that's
script,
just-
already there.
like,
you just gotta animate it.
Man,
animate it, and get Tim Allen and Tom Hanks into a booth. And
what
we're
I
good.
what I learned when I was doing going to school for CG, basically back then, because I went to school when all of that was going on, in order to render like even just like a second, it's like you have to have basically they had entire rooms full of computers
right.
all working together to render that 1 second. And that's why it was so expensive. And it would take like 8 hours.
Yeah, but now
But now
You
it's
could do
so
all that on a
quick.
notebook tablet.
Yeah, you
And-
can do it on that thing.
you don't even necessarily have to like armature the whole movement. You just
Yeah.
say start here, end here.
Yeah, and it will.
You watch a movie like Tron, and they were talking about like they had to have 3 different companies doing the CG for that movie because it was the first movie. They didn't
Yeah.
have anybody doing it. It was like whole warehouses of computers to generate a light cycle sequence,
Yeah.
and
That's
now you can
awesome.
do it on your tablet.
Yep.
Well, we'll see
Oh,
how
yeah.
aw-
I
we'll,
can
we'll, we'll
render-
see how awesome Tron Ares
I
turns.
can render some great stuff on that.
It's Jared Leto.
laptop.
You got a 50-50 shot.
Yeah,
You know, I would have
sometimes
put.
you get Morbius.
You know what I would have done if I was Disney? I would have made Jake Gyllenhaal in Tron Ares. That would have been a
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
worth watching.
Yeah,
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
I loved him in the Spider-Man movie.
I loved him in that Roadhouse
Want
remake. Holy
more.
shit. Huh?
I want more.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
awesome in that. Again, Marvel finding yet another way to make a shitty C-card villain awesome on
Yeah.
film. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
even Vulture, let's be honest.
Oh, God, yeah.
If they're doing another Spider-Man movie, though, they better make him more street level. I want to see D'Onofrio play Kingpin.
Supposedly,
yeah.
that's like D'Onofrio's like,
That's what he
if
wants.
I come back, I'm doing Spider-Man.
Right.
He
Spider-Man
wants it
needs
so
to be
bad.
teaming up with Daredevil on a street level movie.
Yeah, I'll honestly, I'll be shocked if we don't get
something.
a Spider-Man drop in the Daredevil series that's going right now.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, you got Kamala Khan's dad yesterday.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah, I
better-
thought
that
it
was
was.
that was
I thought it was cute. I
that
thought
was
it
cooler than the whole series, Ms. Marvel, man.
I
It
mean,
was really good. I mean, they could just do a Spider-Man TV series.
Right,
Yeah.
miniseries on TV.
Yeah,
I'd keep my subscription for that.
But, I mean,
episodes.
it's a
Vincent
ma-
D'Onofrio.
You know
But
what
it
they
makes
really
you
wanted to
wonder.
host Sony? They do a Miles Morales TV show.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Just totally fuck them on that one. Get Danny Glover or somebody to come in there and play
Yep.
that role, man. It would be
Yep.
killer.
Yeah.
So what have we learned today, man? Wrapping up. How far are we
Do we
in?
learn?
Hour 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we ever learn anything?
No. Well,
I-
well, we learned that
learned
everything.
today
Huh?
That ICP has a wrestling thing.
Oh, and I'm going to let you borrow it tonight. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah. I'll
We'll
watch
go. We'll fucking end this podcast. We'll go in the living room right now and watch it. I don't. Wrestlers like Lama Nama Nume, who looked like somebody shoved a hose up his anus and pumped him full of marshmallow-like substance. I'm telling you, this movie is fucking awesome.
Oh, great. That's great.
Cactus Sack versus Terry Funk in a electrified razor wire death match. Great shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's good stuff.
Well, I've learned that we're vintage.
Yes, we're
and we're old. But old just means that all of our shit was way cooler than your young whippersnappers stuff. I'll take the Pepsi challenge to any kid in their 20s right now. You show me any movie and I'll show you what they ripped it off from.
Yep.
And then my father Homer will come by and he'll show me where they ripped that one off from. So,
Yeah,
There is
Simpsons
that. Yeah.
Simpsons did it.
because Twilight Zone did it.
right.
Yep. Yep.
Older is better. Vintage is awesome.
I didn't learn shit.
She learned that her husband is a nerd.
Oh, I
But she already knew that.
I knew that a long time ago.
Right.
She learned that while she's in the midst of a story, we will be clicking the button jokes
Right.
passively.
If I'm telling a
Oh, she knew
story,
that.
you guys will cut in at some point. So
If she's telling a story and we both start giggling, she knows it's coming. You already knew that
Yep.
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Allie didn't learn shit
so,
today
so
either.
I
Yeah,
learned.
that's
I learned that you guys will never hear the end of any of my stories.
Nope. Nope. Because we're all about quality here on the podcast, and
Yeah.
we're all about value,
Yep.
and we're not afraid to go the extra length to make a perverted, dirty joke
Yep.
about your significant other.
Always. Always.
He said poop. That was pretty cool. This podcast sucks. See you next week, kids.
Bye, y'all.
You should at least bite his nuts or at least whack his schlong.
He can do that himself.